if he fasts for the rest of his life? So that is very, very telling. So this is mentioned in Surah Al-Tirmidhi. Now, Ubaydah bin Samit radiallahu anhu reports that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, in the month of Ramadan, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala directs His special mercies towards you, forgives your sins, and accepts your du'as and supplications. He looks at your competing with each other in fasting, in good deeds, in coming to Tarawih. And then He expresses happiness over you before His angels. So show Allah, show Him that you are pious, you are righteous. Because this most unfortunate one is the one who is deprived of the mercy of Allah in this month, out of all the months. SubhanAllah. This is mentioned in Musnad al-Sami from Tabarani. Ka'b bin Urja radiallahu anhu reports that on one occasion Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was actually calling out to the Sahaba, come to the minbar. When they assembled around the minbar, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam ascended the first step and he said Ameen. He then ascended the second step, said Ameen. Then he ascended the third step of the minbar and he said Ameen. After he delivered the khutbah, when the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam came down, the Sahaba asked, O Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, we heard you say something that we never heard from you before. Saying Ameen 3 times before you ascended the minbar. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, when I ascended the first step, Jibreel alayhi salam appeared before me and said, woe to him who witnessed the blessed month of Ramadan, yet he let it pass without getting forgiveness. He did not fulfill the rights of this month at all. I said Ameen to this dua. The second step, woe to him before whom your name is mentioned, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he doesn't send durood on you. And he said Ameen to this dua. When I ascended the third step, he said, woe to him in whose presence both of his parents or one of them attain old age. Yet, due to not serving them, they do not become the means for him to enter into Jannah. I said Ameen to this dua as well. SubhanAllah. This is mentioned in Al-Mustadrak ala Sahihayn by Hakim. So these here are the sources from the Quran and the Ahadith that establish fasting is one of the great pillars of Islam. Now, I wanted to discuss the effect of fasting. But today we do not have enough time, so we will do that tomorrow. And by the grace and mercy of Allah, brothers, I have an appeal for you. I've been asking you to read the Quran, establish a relationship with the Quran, come to these, this program. Basically, what I want you to do is try and block out from 9 o'clock till 11 o'clock these 2 hours for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I'm going to start the lecture from tomorrow at 9 o'clock sharp. And I want to take at least 10 minutes to do this. So inshallah ta'ala, block this timing and inshallah. Yeah, so as Ramadan comes, I'm actually going to move it forward a little bit, okay? So that we finish on time. But what I want you to do is just try and be here so that you can benefit from the talks and at the same time benefit from the Tarawih and the Isha Salah. By the grace and mercy of Allah, I want you to understand that this program, the way that it is here, is not actually there in every single masjid. We need to get out of our heads this whole thing about, I want to do this worship so that this burden is gone from my head. This is not the attitude to have when you come to these kind of places. If you find that it's so difficult for you to block out 2 hours, don't come at all. That's fine. But what you need to do is you do not need to be looking at the watch every single time that you come here. So this is very important. You come willingly. There are 2 slaves, and this is the last thing I leave you with. One slave, he hates to be worshipping Allah. He hates to be worshipping Allah and he worships for 2 hours. And one slave loves to be worshipping Allah and he worships for 2 hours. Who do you think is the one that's going to be accepted? وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم.